In software, we code for elegance because simplicity is power. Well, I'm proud today to introduce you to Windows 10s. We've taken everything that teachers need and millions of people love about Windows 10 and created a new Windows experience that's ideal for all of our creative endeavors inside and out of the classroom. Let me show you Windows 10s. So here I am running Windows 10s on a Surface Book. Windows 10s runs on the full range of Windows 10 hardware, like this powerful Surface Book, but also the entry-spec devices that we find in classrooms all over the world. Now, the first thing you'll notice about Windows 10s is a new default desktop image. Just like we've streamlined Windows 10 to create Windows 10s, the default desktop image on Windows 10s has been streamlined and still beautiful. Now, everything that runs on Windows 10s is downloaded from the Windows Store, which means first, it's verified for security and performance, but then when it's downloaded to the device, it runs in this safe container to ensure that the execution of the application doesn't impact the overall performance of the rest of the system, allowing the performance of the device to be the same on day 1 as day 1000 in use of the device. Now, there's many applications within the Windows Store, but it's pretty exciting to announce today that the Office suite, the full desktop applications, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and more, will be coming soon to the Windows Store. Now, I mentioned also that Windows is being chosen today for the peripherals, the things that teachers are plugging or students are plugging into Windows. Well, the full Windows peripheral ecosystem is available on Windows 10s. We're seeing incredible mixed reality headsets being created by our partners. So excited to see the classroom lesson plans that are being created to go with this like Acer virtual reality headset here with this Surface Book. But some of the most exciting stuff we're seeing plugged into Windows are these new lessons for STEM education. And so today, what we've done here is I've downloaded from the store Obot, which is this Arduino-based robot. You can see here what a student has done is programmed from scratch, visually programmed from scratch, this lesson plan.
Hello humans. I'm Obot. Who is programming me today? Nice to meet you, Terry. I love working with kids to teach them how to code. I'm already being used in over 1,000 schools around the world today. I've gotta say, Windows 10s looks pretty impressive so far. What else have you got to show us, Terry?
So, I think down in the showcase, you'll see many more. There's just so many cool things that are being plugged into Windows 10 or Windows 10s soon to enable these great STEM lesson plans. Now, I've talked about how we've been listening to teachers and students to inspire Windows 10s, but we've also been doing the same with Microsoft Edge. Now, Windows 10s will run any web browser in the Windows Store, but with Microsoft Edge, it's inspired by teachers and students as well. So when recently we announced the ability to set aside tabs, what we were really doing at that time was thinking about how a student doing a research project would collect, here's the tabs of the research I'm doing on the solar system. Here's the tabs related to the research I'm doing on the Amazon rainforest. Here's the tabs associated with my science research. When we add annotation to Edge, we're thinking about a scenario of a student doing his research, highlighting a section of a web page, circling a section that they really enjoy, and then sharing it with other teachers or students in the classroom that are doing their collaborative work for. So Microsoft Edge is increasingly more focused on being delightful for these teachers and students in the classroom. Now, I mentioned every application that runs on Windows 10s is downloaded from the store. So what happens when a student tries to download something not from the store? So here we've created this fictitious website, Crazy Picture Editor, and I will try and download something and run it. When you do, Windows 10s pops up this helpful dialog, letting you know the application you just tried to run has not been verified for security and safety by Microsoft. What it does, though, is offer you applications in the store that do similar things. So here it's recommending, instead of Crazy Picture Editor, Adobe Photoshop. Now, if a teacher or administrator really wants to run that application from the store at any time, they can go to that Windows Store and switch the device from Windows 10s to Windows 10 Pro, which would allow them to install that application. Now, I mentioned maintaining consistent performance is so important in the classroom. The one scenario that's particularly important in the classroom is the first login of a student. In classrooms, we see these carts of 30 or more devices, and students are coming in and out of the classroom, they pick up a random device, and all the time, it'll be the first time they log in. And so we've been focused on that with Windows 10s. So here I have two devices, a Windows 10 Pro device, loaded up with several applications that are commonly found in the classroom. We have Google Chrome installed, Adobe Reader installed, McAfee antivirus installed, and that's it. And over here we have comparable applications running on Windows 10s. And so I'm going to be a student logging into this device for the very first time. And you'll see that the Windows 10s device is going to log in for the very first time for this student in less than 15 seconds. This 10 Pro device will take 30, 40 seconds to log in. More applications would have it take even longer to log in. And so what this means in the classroom is the teacher can start teaching quicker. Doesn't have to keep the students focused waiting for a device to log in. So this first login performance is fantastic. Now, if the student has been on this device before, every login after the first one on Windows 10s will be less than 5 seconds. So it's just great performance on that first login. Now, going back to the scenario Ricardo talked about, setting up new devices. This is a scenario many teachers think about during the summer, or school districts are getting new devices all the time. So what we've done is we've created a new application called Set Up My School PCs. And what happens is a teacher or administrator goes into a wizard. They set up the Wi-Fi network for their school. Say, these are going to go for my math cart. Maybe set up a new desktop image with a school logo. Specify I'm setting up whether a single student device or a shared cart or a lab. Specify what applications they want on the device. Here we're recommending Office or Minecraft, but they're not there by default. A school chooses what they want. But at the end of this process, what gets created is a USB key. And then what the teacher or administrator does is they collect all of their classroom PCs. This is literally what we see happen in the classroom. And they'll take a PC in any state. This particular one is just out of the box. You plug in the USB key. It's detected by Windows. And in less than 30 seconds, I'll be able to pull this USB key out of the device and move on to the next one. This system is configured completely per the spec that I put together through this wizard. There's a school in Colorado a couple weeks ago decided to move to Windows 10 from Chromebooks. And using the Set Up My PC app, they set up 600 PCs using 30 USB sticks in one day. So it's a pretty incredible process to set up and configure a set of devices exactly how the teachers would like them to be. Now, the last step in our solution here is InTune for Education. I mentioned how Ricardo has got 11,000 PCs in his school district. So what we've done is we've taken our enterprise systems management software and we've customized it for schools. InTune now knows about carts in classrooms and knows about teachers versus students. And what an administrator can now do, you can see this is InTune for Education, configured for 2 high schools, Contoso and Fabricam. The students, teachers and students in each. And an administrator during the school year can go in and say, oh, in this classroom, the students at this high school, for example, let's turn off the camera in that classroom. So all of the attributes of the devices that are in the school district, if they're connected to the InTune for Education, that can now be centrally managed with all the power of this rich enterprise management software we've had for years, now customized for schools. So that's Windows 10s. It's inspired by students and teachers. It runs full, rich applications that are secure and verified by Microsoft. It's easy to set up and manage, and it will have the same performance on the first day of school as the last. It really is the soul of today's Windows. Now, the world benefits when all students all over the planet have access to this latest technology. Windows achieves this scale through our partners, both our OEMs and software developers globally. And our goal with Windows 10s is to develop the same vibrant, partner-centric ecosystem we have today. Our partners, including Acer, Asus, Dell, Fujitsu, HP, Samsung, and Toshiba, offer a range of new Windows 10 PCs for education today, starting at only $189. These partners will offer these devices and new, beautiful premium devices with Windows 10s in the coming months. But I'm excited to announce more. All of these new education devices will now come with a free one-year subscription to Minecraft Education Edition. And we are making Windows 10s free for all schools on any of their current Windows Pro PCs. And that Office 365 for Education is also free for teachers and students worldwide. And today, Microsoft InTune for Education becomes broadly available for administrators worldwide. So Windows 10s devices, Office 365, and Minecraft, this is our complete solution for education.